You've now got to remortgage your house to get a Chinese or an Indian.
You won't believe what you would have been paying in 2023 versus 2025.
Anybody who tells you the cost of living crisis is over and that food inflation prices are coming down are off their heads.
Sorry, excuse me. £7 meal deal.
Ever since the UK cost of living crisis, even grocery prices have been rising.
Right now, even though the housing prices may go down, then you're not going to be able to afford the house prices anyway because of all the fees, the deposits and everything that's involved.
When I even look at rent, for like a studio is like £2,000. There is no way I will ever be able to afford to buy a house in cash in the UK. Like, I'm just being so realistic with myself. The only way I can buy a house is if I move abroad. Like, what do you mean in the last 10 years house prices have increased by over 50%? The average house is now £300,000, whilst the average salary has only increased by 37% to £37,430. And it's not even like the quality of living makes up for the prices. Like, the average house prices in Belarus are £82,000, Lebanon £95,000, Argentina £99,000, Bosnia £101,000, and that country is beautiful. In the Philippines, it's around 110k. Bahrain is 113k. Montenegro, 121k. And imagine living there. Might as well move to Greece. It's 139k. Literally Qatar, which is a dream place to live, 224k. Like, obviously every country has its advantages and disadvantages, but I don't see the point of living or staying in the UK. Like, the social, economical, political environment is all just trash. And don't get me started on the job market. Like, compare salaries for the same job in the UK and then the US. Getting out of the UK is honestly just the best option at this point.
I'm looking for a new place to live because I've decided I don't want to pay over £1,000 a month to rent a bedroom in a house share, just in Tooting. Some places like want to charge £1,000 to tell me that I can't go in the living room because they're a live-in landlord and they like their own space. It's £1,000 a month, 1,000, if not more, £1,500 some of these places are, and I'm not allowed to work from home. We all work from home now, at least a few days a week. No, because you like your own space, I can't work from home in a bedroom that I'm paying you £1,000 a month to live in. This new room, it's actually the bathtub and you can sleep in it between the hours of 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. London is horrible, but I have to be here for my job. I'm almost 30 and I'm paying over £1,000 a month to live in someone else's house. Wish me luck.
Running out of time, by 2030 the entire housing market is going to be upended. We won't be able to afford any housing, and the reason being is that we're seeing a flood of capital from foreign investors buying up what we call SFR, single family rent. Angela Rayner has an ambition to build 1.5 million homes. She's not going to achieve that. And if any homes that she does build will be through the assistance of foreign private equity. And that's going to come with all sorts of conditions, my friend. That housing is not going to be for you. It's not going to be for me. It's not going to be for residents of the UK. That housing is going to be gobbled up by foreign pension funds, foreign private equity. There's going to be a housing crisis beyond what we've ever seen before.
I want to talk a little bit about the housing situation that we have in the UK, especially in London and around South East and around that area, definitely. But you know, when they're speaking about, you know, the housing prices are too high and we know that landlords are selling up because of all of the changes to the laws and all the rest of it. And a lot of people are thinking that this is a good thing. It's not really a good thing, you know that. I'll tell you why. Because investors always buy at the bottom of the market, not at the top, the bottom of the market. So when you see a lot of landlords selling up because of the news, you know, they get rid of the Section 21 and all that stuff there. So when you see a lot of landlords selling up, and you'll see a lot more houses on the market, what that's going to do is going to drive house prices down. People are like, yeah, house prices are going to be driven down and everyone's happy. But the thing is that even though the housing prices will be driven down, people still can't buy the houses anyway because they don't have enough money for the deposit. If you want to buy a house for 30 grand, or sorry, for 300 grand, you need a deposit of 30k. No one, who's got a deposit, who's got 30k in the bank? That's not including legal fees or anything like that, or taxes or anything like that. It's just speaking about just the deposit by itself. Many people haven't got that. And the average house, you know, in London, for example, is not, I don't think it's 300,000 anyway. I think it's way more than that. So all I'm saying is that the housing prices will start coming down. And what's going to happen is that you're going to get a lot of investors, especially companies, they're going to come in and start buying up all the properties. So instead of the properties being run by landlords, there's good ones and bad ones, we know that, but instead of the landlords, the ones who run in the houses, it's going to be companies that's going to be running the houses. It's going to be taken over by companies, big investors. And then when they take over, there's going to be less choice. There'll be less wriggle room for everybody. So those who are renting right now, even though the housing prices may go down, then you're not going to be able to afford the house prices anyway because of all the fees, the deposits and everything that's involved. You still won't be able to buy nothing, but the landlords are going to be leaving, the price is going to go down, people still can't buy houses, still going to pay higher rents anyway. Rents are not coming down. Listen, rents are not coming down. Once rents go up to a certain level, they're not going to be reduced. Companies are not going to reduce them, no one's going to reduce them, they're going to be high. But the only difference is going to be is that you'll be paying that money to a company and not a landlord. So it'll be like a monopoly's taken over. So I think that landlords leaving the sector is not really going to be, it's not going to fare well. A lot of people I hate landlords. Yeah, you can hate landlords, you can hate this and hate that. I get all that that perspective. But at the end of the day, it's still not going to fare that good for those who are renting because they think that rent's going to come down. Rents are never coming down. But anyway, that's my thoughts. What do you think?
So I just spent the past 2 hours now, actually, sitting in front of the computer, literally just looking at properties online, trying to at least find something that I can inquire about a viewing or something, and it's just so difficult. Like, even my computer is overheating, but it's actually so difficult. And what annoys me the most, some of these properties are actually insane. You mean to tell me a 1-bedroom flat in Walthamstow goes for £1,600, no bills, no council tax, nothing included? Look at these walls, please. What are with these prices? And trust me, I've seen a few other that are just on the same level, but it's just so difficult. Like, it's actually so hard. Honestly, I know the renting market right now and the housing market right now is incredibly difficult, but it's just impossible to really find something. Like, yeah, I can't believe I actually spent 2 hours. Like, I just sat down and I went through multiple websites. I genuinely don't understand how they expect people to survive this city. Like, I don't know, it's really becoming hard. Like, and I really just don't want to leave it for last minute.
Hot take, but renting in the UK is just as hard as buying a house. Hi, my name is Cora. I'm rebuilding my life at age 28. I'm currently trying to move out of my parents' house, and I'm coming up with a few obstacles along my path of trying to rent a 1-bedroom flat. Now, before you say, well, why don't you do a house share? It's just personal preference for my mental health and my neurodivergence that I want to live by myself. That is my preference, and I'm not going to settle for less than that. I may personally be fine in a house share, but I am not with my anxiety, and I know what's best for me. First problem is the price of rent. Ideally, I'd love to rent at 600, but it's looking at 700, and okay, I've just had to accept that. Yeah, you could say, well, you could be earning more, and yeah, I could be earning more, but I was unemployed for 5 months, and I've literally only just got a job, and I'm just getting myself back on my feet. Second thing I'm coming up against is a credit check. Now, I've only just paid off my credit cards, and I've had to close some of my credit card accounts, so I know that's going to affect my score, but I don't want to have the credit cards anymore because I don't want to end up in credit card debt again. It seems mad to me that your credit score goes down if you close a credit account and pay off the card. But here we are. The third obstacle I'm coming up against is that you have to earn 3 times the amount of the rent. Personally, because I've learned how to budget and live off barely nothing, aka universal credit, which was less than $400 a month, I certainly don't need that much to live off, and I can survive very much on the amount that I would be able to survive on after rent, but my salary at the moment is not 3 times the amount of 1 month's rent, so I have to have a guarantor. Now, the final thing I'm coming up against is how competitive it is. I literally saw a property the second it was posted, and when I rang them up, they said that 10 other people were already interested in the property. So the problem you face then is comes a bidding war, and people that can't afford to basically pay more lose out. Not necessarily complaining, because I know this is how it is. I would just like to hear other people's thoughts. Do you think it's unfair? Do you think it's very difficult these days? What are your thoughts on this?
I'm currently staying at my mum's house for the next, well, I've been staying for the last few days, for the next few days as well. And it really upsets me that I've lived here my whole life. I'm 32, on and off. Obviously, I've moved abroad and I've moved to South London or whatever. But it really upsets me that I won't ever be able to afford to live where I'm from. I can never get a council flat, even if I wanted to, even if I tried. And like, I have to like learn a whole new area every single time I move. Like, I'm just currently walking around my area, and it's just like, it's really sad that like I'm walking past where I went sixth form and I won't be able to like have my kids here and, you know, raise a family here and tell my kids, oh, I went to school there, or my kids go to the same school as I did. That's not gonna happen. It's actually really sad. And like, when I even look at rent for like a studio is like £2,000 where I grew up. And God forbid my mum passes away, that council house is going. So it's like really bittersweet, man.